The loading bar is there, and we're live. So, my name is Dakota Michael, and I'm here with Aaron Jones. We are doing a combo today, a test of our live stream capabilities and a promotional for the upcoming interview of James Lindsay by Aaron. I'd appreciate if, while you're watching this video at some point, just that you would leave us a comment letting us know that you can hear us okay and that this is working. This is going across multiple platforms, so we're going to check all of those. Wherever you're viewing this, just leave a response letting us know that it's going all right. Okay, so without further ado, I think I'm going to pass it over to you, Aaron.
Yeah, sounds good. Have yourself an anti-racist Christmas. May your guilt be white. Equity means keeping slavery in sight. And have yourself an anti-racist Christmas now. Oh my, that's pretty scary. Anyway, that is a brilliant Christmas Carol adaptation from Benjamin Boyce, who, by the way, later tonight will be interviewing James Lindsay, Dr. James Lindsay, academic in exile. James Lindsay, you may know him from, I know him from a documentary called The Grievance Studies Affair. Other people call it the Evergreen State documentary. It's on YouTube. So I want to basically tell you about what's happening on Thursday night and kind of get you prepped for who James is. So let's go back in history a little bit. A few years ago, I somehow ran into a documentary because I'm interested in campus activism and what's happening. I mean, many of us who are libertarian or conservative had noticed, unless you're just got your head in the sand, how there's kind of an anti-reason strong movement in academia. And I mean, I even knew that it was connected with postmodernism in some way. But I ran into James from this documentary. Somehow somebody shared it on Twitter, and we saw this documentary on the Evergreen State College on how in 2016 it was basically taken over by a kind of proto Black Lives Matter movement and or a transgender sort of activism, social justice activism. Literally took the president of the college hostage. Literally had him have the police stand down so the police would not interact while a group of students took over the college. Now, keep in mind, those who have looked at this know this was like any revolution. It doesn't take a majority. This was a minority of the students doing this, but it was very effective in kind of taking the reins of power from a state college in Oregon, I think. So that's how I ran into James in this documentary. I want to just play a clip of it. I have a permission from Mike. I struggle with his last name, Naina or something. I think he's from Australia. Anyway, he gave me permission to share this. I hope this doesn't get our video in trouble. Anyway, so bear with me here. I'm going to go into our share here where we can see a little bit of this video. So I'm going to drop you right in the middle of the first quarter of the Grievance Studies Affair documentary, and then we'll go back and explain what's going to happen.
I gave you two options. I am not in the mood. I am so tired. You literally, the first thing you do is try to come up with a way to not listen. Two options. Go inside. Go home. That's it. I don't have time for anything else. I am too tired. This shit is literally gonna kill me.
Do you have a time for an apology?
Go inside.
Go inside or go home. 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 Go inside or go home.
This movement is about student empowerment. It's attempting to center the voices of people who are not often heard to make sure that their needs are addressed so that everyone's needs can be addressed. I think people think that we're being difficult or snowflake-ish, if you will. At least that's the main claim to dismiss us. But this institution was built to serve us, correct? That's what we're paying for. So it must serve us. And we must demand it. And we must beg for it, fight for it, ask for it, plead for it.
And you need to make reparations for how you've harmed all of us in this specific instance. I think everybody here would like a refund and additional meals through the end.
We must pull out every stops we have to make sure.
Okay, hopefully I'm back with you here. Did we
Okay.
stop? Were we back to us just talking, Dakota?
No, we're still live.
Cool. Anyway, so I don't know about you, but my stomach was crawling. I felt very uncomfortable, and I hope you felt uncomfortable too. I think these really are some troubled young people. One of those people was a professor, by the way, that kind of joined with the students there that you saw at the beginning holding her dog there. So she was, there were, by the way, at that moment, a group of the faculty had basically been kidnapped, and they were barring the doors, and some of the staff members were trying to leave because it felt dangerous. And then some students and then that faculty member were shaming people and saying, no, you have to stay until we get these equity demands met in the policies of the school. So a lot of stuff going on there. We heard some things we're going to talk about where, did you catch that line about language being violence? You're literally killing me. Because you're not going along with what I believe, you're literally killing me. What were some of your thoughts, Dakota? Had you ever seen that clip?
Actually, I haven't. I've watched similar clips, so it's scary to me that there are so many clips of this kind of thing occurring that I can have seen many clips that are very similar to this and not those.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is either 2015 or 2016. And many of us, and we met each other online because when the George Floyd protests and some riots surrounding that started, a lot of action started happening all across the Western world. This is not just the United States. When that started happening, many of us who had seen that documentary I went back to it. I was like, oh my goodness, I've seen this before. I'm seeing the evergreening of the world. Like, that documentary captures a microcosm of the social justice theory, critical race theory, postmodern activist mindset spilling out into the real world of just that campus. And then now I think we're seeing it spill out into everything. Literally your job picking up trash. Yelp, as you may know, you may have a little Star of David on Yelp that says it's okay to go to your business. Don't burn this business down, because they're welcoming everybody in their business. As long as you do this training, you'll get a little star as a business on your Yelp account. I know I'm getting into the weeds here, but I wanted to just give you a sense of those of us who met James. James is an expert on these concepts, and I'm hoping he can share with us things that we can do, parents, staff members, students, other faculty who are probably scared to admit that they're watching. What can we do to stand up for truth? I'm a Christian myself. There's a lot of Christians who've come to this and said, like, hey, this is troubling because, like, this is going to redouble the attacks on free speech of me being able to share my faith. But this is something that people are noticing from across the political spectrum. And I think it's going to be a really lively discussion. I want folks out there to, I know we didn't really go into James's biography. You can look him up. He's pretty spicy on Twitter. He's Conceptual James on Twitter, Conceptual James. I think I got that right. He is an academic in exile. He wrote a fake paper. It was either about patriarchy in dog rape tendencies, or I don't know, he may have been the one who took Hitler's Mein Kampf and replaced Jews with white men. I can't remember which paper it was, but he embarrassed a world famous publishing house, publishes academic papers. A group of professors actually learned that all they had to do was have the right buzzwords and you can get published, which kind of shows you it's not a real rigorous academic study, social justice world. Dakota, is there anything I didn't cover in terms of what we're doing?
Yeah, so from my familiarity, I think you're right on both counts, on the Mein Kampf and on the dog park activity. Yeah, I think he was involved in both of those. And there were several other hoax academic papers that went out, obviously. He in partnership with Helen Pluckrose and Peter Boghossian.
Oh, let me show everybody the book. Get the book. Yesterday was yesterday Giving Tuesday. I recommend people donate to newdiscourses.com, newdiscourses.com. like folks to donate to what they do. That website is full of resources and intellectual arguments that you can bring to your workplace or the school. Cynical Theories by Helen Pluckrose and James Lindsay. So yeah, one thing, we talk about the fake paper project. I immediately, I hope, I like to think I have a sense of humor, and I like kind of spoofing on things. And I think that's one thing I like about James, that he's willing to have a little fun and take risks. So that's something I definitely hope to talk to him about, like what kind of activism, creative, even maybe funny activism can we do in the future? Although I think those of you who are following this, who are concerned about the future generations of our people, is this is getting increasingly not funny. What could happen if this philosophy that denies individuality, it comes down to an attack on the free market and capitalism. It's a combination of forces. So there's a lot to talk about. I don't know politically how James defines himself now, so that'll be interesting to find out. He did shockingly vote for Trump, at least he claims he did. So we'll ask him if he regrets that, what he thinks about the future, what the future holds, and maybe what book he's writing or what project he's working on in the future. One last thing, please submit questions. You can do it in the comments here. What I'd really like you to do, if you have a Twitter account, is make sure you follow iRoots.org. That's where we'll be launching the video. They'll launch here on Facebook and YouTube as well. But there's a radio-friendly YouTube account. There's iRoots.org Twitter, and there's iRoots.org Facebook page. And we'd like you to, within the next 24 hours, send in questions you'd like us to pose to James Lindsay. Use hashtag AskJamesL. That's hashtag AskJamesL. And we will read some of those questions Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Look forward to it. Thanks a lot, Dakota. Anything else you want to add?
No, that was awesome. And this went a lot more smoothly than I was worried it would. So very pleased there. I can see that we had somebody join us on Periscope, and I haven't had a chance to check the other streaming platforms yet, but my account says that we should be live on all of them. So we'll be checking those shortly. I want to thank everybody for watching. And like Aaron said, hope you'll join us on Thursday when we interview James. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now. And then...
one last thing.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a Christmas special, everybody. You will actually kick you off of the stream if you're not wearing like some crazy sweater or you don't have like some sort of festive beverage. We'll just leave it at that. So it's mandatory Christmas spirit. So make sure you come with bells on your toes. Although James said he was not coming with bells. So he may be a Grinch. So we may actually have to ban him from the stream, and it'll just be you and I, Dakota. So, well, I don't know. That'll be a lot to live up to.
Yeah. I'm definitely going through all of my ugly Christmas sweaters and trying to pick out the ugliest one. So.
I hope you can send me one, because I don't have one. So I need to come up with something. I may just wrap Christmas lights around me. Anyway, just being goofy here, there's a long story behind that. We actually wanted to have James actually here at Indiana University. But with COVID and everything, we're just turning this into a goofy Christmas special with James Lindsay because it's just doubly triggering that way.
Okay.
Okay.
Assuming there's no more last minute, one last things, I think we're good to pull the stream down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Sound good?
Sounds good, man. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks,
See you all
everybody.
soon.
Bye.